To the racetrack tonight, a 60-lap feature event. It's on tap next on Flow Racing. $60-lap feature event for the David Rogers Super Late Models here at New Smyrna Speedway. It's the second race of the night. Take a look at the point standings coming in. The Super Late Models have run 3 nights, including the big one last night for the Stars Tour. Spencer Davis has had 3 good runs, including a second and a third, and he leads the standings by 12 over Jade Avedissian, who rallied nicely through the field after a spin last night. Michael Hind, Kyle Steckley, Connor Jones completing the top 5 in Super Late Model World Series standings.
Matt Craig sitting in 6th, Gabe Summers in 7th. Neither of those drivers here in action tonight. Should see a shakeup in these point standings after tonight's action. Jade Avedissian going to start P1 tonight alongside Anthony Bello, Connor Jones, and hard luck Kyle Benjamin there in row number 2.
Spencer Davis starting on the inside of row number 3, leading the standings. 2nd, 3rd, and 4th his finishes this week. Max Reeves has had some bad luck this week, including last night. He starts outside of the 3rd row. Isaac Kitzmiller and George Phillips make up our 4th row.
Nicholas Noggle and Billy Braun back there in row 5. Joe Brainerd, first time we've seen him this week, alongside Steve Weaver out of Plantation, Florida in the 112. Those are the 12 cars that will go for 60 quick laps. A little bit shorter field tonight, but I'll tell you what, Adam, these 6 or 8 cars up at the front of the field, I think are going to be really competitive here tonight. Should be a great battle for the win.
Outside of row number 4, George Phillips back in action tonight, Bob.
Yeah, keep an eye on that 17-year-old. He was quick in practice earlier today, and his team telling me that, honestly, the Stagger didn't do what they wanted it to do during his qualifying effort. They believe they have a very good race car. George is very confident in it as well, and he has seen success here at New Smyrna Speedway, so he's one of those underdogs that might actually contend for the win here tonight.
Well, he's got a team car up on the pole position that he's going to have to catch and try to pass. The 24 of Jade Avedissian making the invert. The invert was a 6, putting the 6 fast qualifier Avedissian on the pole, and Max Reeves, the fastest qualifier tonight. And not only the super late models, but he also was top qualifier in the pro lates. So they've got the 18 cars tuned up tonight as they see the 1 to go signal this time.
Anthony Bello up on the front row. We had seen Anthony racing modified tour type mods here the last several seasons, but he's trying to make that transition over into full-time super late model racing. Talked to him yesterday, and he said, yeah, you might see me in a modified a couple of times throughout the course of the year, but I really want to concentrate on getting better in these super late model cars, and he's got a great starting spot for here tonight. Anthony, Bob, what you got on Anthony?
Well, you know, he's really getting adjusted. As you said, he's known as a modified guy, the Connecticut kid from up there in New England, and has had some success down here at New Smyrna, but he went pro late model racing, and now he was excited to go super late model racing full time this year, but he knows it's going to be a learning experience, and that's why he is competing with this Dylan Feccio team down here at New Smyrna Speedway, because where can you get that much experience in such a short period of time?
It is a great place to do just that. That's why I think we have so many pro late models here even tonight after some of the issues they had earlier this week. We still got around 30 pro late models which will be racing a little bit later tonight. Florida Modifieds coming up next for their first start of the week. 20 drivers expected to take the green in that race. But super late models first. 12 drivers ready to come to green. Going 60 laps the distance. A long distance affair for a smaller field, but it's a tight field. This top 6 and even beyond, with Kitzmiller and Phillips missing the invert. Keep your eyes on all of them. Oh, Bello spinning the tires. Green is out for the super late models, and Avedisian into the lead.
And she has been razor sharp all week long in that number 24 car. She got a great start there. Look at this battle for position. There's Spencer Davis in the 96 to the inside of Connor Jones. Davis has been stout all week long, looking to take over third as we come to complete lap 1.
Davis to the bottom lane. All top 5 runs in the 3 starts this week for the 96. Connor Jones showed some progress in the super late model last night. Reeves showing progress tonight with fast time, working past Benjamin. He's had a lot of bad luck, a lot of different body panels all over that number 9 car.
Yeah, he needs to get through, lap 5 here tonight. If he's able to, he probably will have logged more laps in this race than he has logged in any race all week long. Spencer Davis throwing some sparks in that 96 car. Saw team owner Ben Kennedy here last night. Ben, of course, NASCAR executive, joined us for the ASA Stars National Tour race last evening. So he's been watching all the action all week long live here on Flow. That 96 car has been solid each and every night.
Davis, a few sparks still flying up behind the 96 car. Tire pressures maybe not quite building up quite yet, still bottoming out a little bit early on in this race. 56 laps to go. George Phillips, right side of the screen, currently running in the 6th position, trying to move up into the top 5. He started in 8th, has picked up a couple of spots here early. We look further forward with the 18 of Max Reeves, picked up 2 spots. Top qualifier following Spencer Davis.
You know, Max Reeves jumped into the ARCA Menard Series East last year, won his first 3 career East Series starts, picked up a couple of ARCA Menard's National Series wins as well. Very talented young man, the protege of 2000 NASCAR Cup Series champion Bobby Labonte, in the battle for the lead picking up. Here comes Anthony Bello in that 51 car, starting to reel in Jade Avedisian at the front of the field.
With that fetcher, the Feccio Motorsports team is the 51 of Bello. Drove for them in pro late model action last year at a number of different races, including just about a full-time effort at Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway, their home track for the team, where Dylan Feccio claimed 3 championships in pro lates. And this is their best run this week. Here's Phillips, a run for 5th to the inside. George Phillips taking 5th spot away from Connor Jones.
George Phillips, a really neat kid, a big NASCAR racing historian. I was chatting with him last night, and I said, man, my favorite era of NASCAR racing, the late 70s, probably to the early 90s. I just can't get enough of that stuff. And he said, man, that's all cool stuff, but I love it from 1947 through the 50s and into the 60s. This kid eats up all of that vintage NASCAR history. And look at this battle again up at the front of the field. It's about to be a 3-way battle for the lead. Here comes Spencer Davis in the 96, reeling in the top 2.
How about a 4-car battle? Because not far behind Spencer Davis is Max Reeves. Just about to have a 4-car pack at the front of the field. We've completed the first 10 laps. Jade Avedisian having a strong week in super late model action. Racing for the championship for the World Series, trails only Spencer Davis in the battle for the standings here at the World Series. She claimed a victory a couple of nights ago on Saturday night. Had a good run last night, made one mistake this week. That was when passing her teammate Kyle Steckley down in turn number 1. Got in a little bit too heavy. They slid sideways. She came up the track a little bit, made some contact with Steckley. She spun around, went to the back of the field. She methodically, like a veteran would do, moved up through the field, and at the end of it finished 7th. Had she had a caution with about 15 to 20 to go, she probably would have been able to pull off a top 5 run. One of the fastest cars on the track last night in the Mobil 1 Toyota.
She and that Dennis Dean-led team went to a different automobile for the Appalachian Sucker Punch ASA Stars National Tour season opener. They've reverted back to the car that she won with here in super late model competition back on last Saturday night, and she's picking up right where she left off, leading as we have now 14 laps in the books. Bob, what you got down on pit road?
Well, here's what right now Jade is dealing with in that race car leading this race. It appeared to be a little tight. You can see her kind of almost park the car in the center of the corner. And then because of that, she's got so much wheel in it, it gets a little bit loose off. So she's trying to manage that race car. She's opened up a little bit of an advantage right now, but that's what she is struggling with that 24 while leading this race.
Battle for position. Bello will have a little more time to worry about the 96 because we have a slowed car down in turns 1 and 2. The 112 of Steve Weaver lost power coming off of turn 4 and has coasted to turn 1 and 2. We saw it slowly go down the front straightaway, thinking that maybe it could make it back, but not under power is the 112 of Weaver, who has made more super late model starts at the World Series than anyone. One of the locals here at New Smyrna Speedway gets some assistance to go back pit side. 15 laps in, 45 to go. The David Rogers Super Late Models, Jade Abedissian, your race leader. Ready to come back around to green this time. We've completed 15 laps. The yellow was for Steve Weaver Jr. in the 112. The leader is Jade Abedissian in the 24. She will bring the field back to green to the restart zone in turn 4, where she picks up the pace. Bello tries to stay alongside, spins the tires. Here's the 51 in the middle of a 3-wide heading to 1 and 2.
That is not the situation. Anthony Bello wanted to find himself down into turns 1 and 2, and they narrowly made it through that corner, but this car did not. 54 car has gone sideways. That is the number 54 of Joey Brainerd. First time we've seen Joey Brainerd in action this week. So the caution out for the second time here with 15 laps complete.
Used a lot of real estate up over in turn number 2 via the spin. We did not complete a lap that time, still 15 in. 45 to go in the 60 lap super late model feature. Tomorrow night will be the final night for the super late models. It's also the final night for the pro late models. They will run 100 laps tomorrow night in the heart-to-heart race. Kyle Benjamin out there has made it past the early stages of the race. It's been a terrible week of bad luck for Kyle Benjamin in his return, Bob.
It has. You take a look at the right side of that race car, a black door panel with a yellow duct tape number 9 on it, that white right front fender. It's been a difficult week in all, and that came from last night's race with the ASA Stars National Tour. But the team has told me that they've only completed 46 total laps in all of the super late model competition so far this year. So their goal, even though he has gone to the back a little bit in this one, he's being very cautious with that race car. They really want to feel it out, find out what it's doing in this one, and then maybe have a little bit better effort tomorrow night. Now, think about this, guys. We got a 60-lap race. If he completes all 60 laps, he's completed more laps than he has in how many races this week?
Well, 3 so far, but that's not counting pro late model action. There's another 4 there, and he's been racing a little bit of both.
I love the 9 on the side of that car. It's about, what, 8 inches tall? But in any case, this is what you got to do to get through the week, man. You got to put those body panels on and make do as you can. The 17 car also down on pit road.
Billy Braun coming to his pit stall. It looks like looking at the left rear of his car.
I believe this is the first time we've seen Billy in action this week as well. So a couple of drivers making their first appearances this week. Tough night for Joey Brainerd and Billy Braun. Hopefully not a tough night for Kyle Benjamin as we get the 1 to go here. And let's see if the Bello automobile, number 51, can get the power down a little cleaner. He spun the tires a couple of times on these starts and restarts.
Braun does make his way back to the edge of pit road there. We'll head back, join the field after a tire pressure adjustment to the left rear to try to fine-tune the handling of the 17. 15 down, 45 to go. Abedissian to bring the field to green for the restart. You can see the tire rubber coming off of the pace car as it pulls away. A lot of rubber buildup on these tires. And Jones has problems on the restart, slips back from his 6th spot. Back underway, Avedisian leads the field through 1 and 2. Bello will fight back to the inside. He was under fire before the most recent yellow by the 96 of Spencer Davis. George Phillips also making a run to the top 3. Contact.
Yeah, Phillips looking strong to the inside there, but he washed up just a touch and nearly clipped the left side there of the 96 automobile of Spencer Davis. Top 4 now stringing out single file. Avedisian stretching that advantage down the backstretch over Bello, Spencer Davis, and George Phillips.
Now we're single file, bottom of the racetrack. Looks like the first battle starting to develop around the 5th spot. Kitzmiller back there in 5th. Connor Jones in 6th. Now it starts to pick up a little bit in the top 3. Davis searching for a way to get around the 51 of Anthony Bello, having his best super late model run in his young career. Anthony Bello in the 51, 20 years of age. You mentioned he's run some 602 modifieds. He was a 602 mod winner here at the World Series a few years ago. First time he's made super late model starts here at the World Series in 2026. Max Reeves.
Yeah, there's Max Reeves. He had to drop to the tail for that restart. Trying to knife his way back through the field. He's picked up a couple of positions, just worked his way past Kyle Benjamin right there. There's Connor Jones next up, and Isaac Kitzmiller in the 7 car having a pretty solid run tonight.
There's Max Reeves at the Red Eye weekend in January here. Finished first at the end of the super late model race, at the end of the pro late model race. Both wins were unfortunately taken away due to tech infractions on the body of the 18 cars. They got those fixed for the World Series, and he's fast tonight in both races. Top qualifier Max Reeves in supers and pros trying to come back to the front here, racing with Connor Jones.
A couple of very aggressive young race car drivers right here. Connor Jones still barely 20 years old. Meanwhile, Max Reeves in that number 18 car, 16 years of age, and they're kind of throwing haymakers at one another down there. Another 15-year-old Isaac Kitzmiller there in the 7 car, watching this all play out in the rearview mirror.
Some of the more experienced pro late model drivers that have moved up into supers that we see in tonight's action. Former pro late model World Series champion, the 44 of Connor Jones, following the 7 of Kitzmiller. A lot of ARCA talent right there on the screen. ARCA East champion in the 7, Isaac Kitzmiller. ARCA East winner. Few ARCA wins for Max Reeves in the 18 car. Running the bottom lane, 3-car battle coming off the corner. 6 laps away this time from halfway.
Connor Jones looks like he's about to give up that position to Max Reeves there in the number 18. Reeves, again, trying to work his way back up from 10th on that restart. He's picked up 3 positions. Ooh, he's going to give a shot there to the back bumper of Isaac Kitzmiller. These two, again, as you said, doing battle regularly in the ARCA Menards Series East. Isaac Kitzmiller, the reigning ARCA Menards East champion, while Max Reeves led the series in wins last year. So those two drivers know each other on the racetrack very well as the battle for second now on in turn 3.
Davis to the inside lane. The Dawsonville, Georgia driver Spencer Davis side by side pulls alongside. The 51 of Anthony Bello makes the move down in 1 and 2. Into the 2nd spot goes Spencer Davis. Now sets his sights on Jade Avedisian. Those two expected to contend all week long for the championship. They have their 1st and 2nd in the points right now. Spencer Davis has the slight advantage in the standings over Jade Avedisian. She's trying to close that gap tonight. Tomorrow night, the final night for the supers.
You know, it was interesting on opening night. Jade was racing pretty tight there with Spencer, and they got a little crossed up, and Jade bounced off the wall, and there was a little beef between those two. Neither of them really had the opportunity to look at the video of what happened. They both got together, kind of talked it through, and I think found a little mutual respect between one another, and they've raced each other very cleanly up at the front of the field throughout the course of the rest of the week, and they're about to go to battle for the victory here tonight. That 96 car looking pretty strong, but Jade looking extremely strong in that 24 car as well.
Isaac Kitzmiller running right now in the 6th position, Bob.
And right now, that car's a little bit on the razor's edge, and that's something that Isaac Kitzmiller has been dealing with here today. I spoke to his crew chief, Michael Bama Shelton, and he said, you know, he's making that transition. He's done some pro late models, obviously the ARCA East, but these cars are completely different, and they're trying to get him to trust in that race car, push it a little bit more, and that's what he is learning down here at the World Series, trying to hold his own right now, just outside the top 5.
Under attack right now from the 44 of Connor Jones. Jones came into this World Series as a former Pro Late Model World Series champion back in 2023, and Super Late Model World Series starts, had 10 of them coming into this year with 5 top 5s. This year it's been a little more of a struggle. He's had a couple of 8th place finishes, yet to crack into the top 5 with the Super Late Model, and right now Jones running in 7th. Said this field parity tonight, despite a smaller field, was pretty good. Some talent is out there and some fast race cars. They've run pretty well clean so far. Connor Jones using those front brakes. You see the rotors glowing as he challenges for 6th.
Yeah, that 44 car not perhaps handling exactly the way Connor Jones would like it. Again, this young man has a lot of experience around this racetrack in a wide variety of race cars, and he knows what he wants and he knows what he likes, and I don't think that car giving it to him exactly the way he needs it to here tonight. Meanwhile, he is trying right there to move Isaac Kitzmiller up out of the way. I think he might be a little faster than Isaac is right now, and I think he's starting to lose his patience with the young 16-year-old reigning ARCA Menards East champion.
Makes the nudge down in turn number 2, trying the little bump and run as Connor Jones to the inside of Kitzmiller, drives it into turn 3, comes off the bottom just enough to keep his momentum up, and clears the 7 for the pass. 6th place, Connor Jones now will set his sights on the top 5.
Nicholas Noggle in the 08 car looking pretty racy within this little pack as well. There's Kyle Benjamin slowly inching in on reaching that laps completed for the week record. That 9 car looking pretty good, and you know, I think that team just looking to build on that notebook. Kyle, a very talented young man, just needs to get back into the swing of things as we look at this battle up at the front between George Phillips and Max Reeves.
4th place, George Phillips right now holding on to it. Max Reeves a little bit quicker, is having a nice green flag run here. Reeves would like to get around the 22 of Phillips. He's pretty far back from 3rd place, Anthony Bello. If he can make this pass and get the help of a yellow flag, it would put him in pretty good shape with about 20 to go. 38 laps down, 22 to go right now. Phillips outside lane in 4th, trying to hold off Reeves.
Phillips' car drifting up the racetrack a little bit. That's going to open the door for Max Reeves. Reeves going to fill that gap to the bottom side. Reeves on the charge after dropping all the way back to 10th on that last restart.
Reeves did that just a little bit of a right-hand turn into turn 1 to get the left-hand corner, and is able to clear the 22 of George Phillips. Reeves up to 4th.
You know what's interesting about Max Reeves is he's really talented for such a young age. I remember Adam when he went out first in qualifying for the Snowball Derby and put the car in the show. And he's being tutored a little bit by NASCAR Hall of Famer Bobby Labonte. Bobby was here last night really coaching him. He was down at the Snowball Derby trying to attend as many of Max's races as possible. So who better to teach a young kid like Max Reeves than Bobby Labonte?
Very level-headed is Bobby Labonte, champion in the NASCAR Cup Series, and still racing a little bit himself with the NASCAR Wheel and Modified Tour start a couple of nights ago. Had some bad luck there. Ended up retiring from the event early, but just about everywhere you see Max Reeves behind the wheel of a race car, you'll see Bobby Labonte looking on. Up front, Jade Avedissian leading, but Spencer Davis is right there, just a few car lengths behind.
You know, we haven't had, knock on wood, a slowdown of this race for the last, 20-plus laps. Spencer Davis making up all of this ground while under green flag conditions. And, you know, you always want as a driver, you want to get there as quickly as you can, but sometimes you have to be patient. You have to let the race car do its job. He's done exactly that. He's picked up a 10th here, a 10th there, a half a 10th here, half a 10th there. And right now he is close to about 2 car lengths of Jade Avedissian with 15 to go this time around.
They continue to work on what we saw last night, his ability to go to the bottom lane and run it right against the yellow line on both ends of this racetrack. a lower lane than anyone else has. That time he follows the tire tracks of Abedissian. She's moved down as well into that inside groove. We don't see a lot of that. We haven't seen a lot of it this week. We have in the past at times. Bubba Pollard, Ty Majeski, we've seen him against the inside lane. Right now, they're doing this with about 14 laps to go, and he's close, just about within striking distance of Jade Abedissian.
We saw Gabe Summers pick up the win on Friday night. That number 15 car very fast. We've seen Carson Brown in victory lane last night in the ASA Stars National Tour Series event. These two cars up at the front of the field, perhaps the most consistently fast race cars here throughout the week as we see a battle for position. Nick Noggle taking that spot away from Kyle Benjamin, moved Noggle up to 8th. Benjamin in the 9 car back to 9th.
Benjamin not giving up yet, makes a little contact coming off of turn 2. Pulls back alongside Noggle. Benjamin, former World Series champion. Contact again off of 4. Now we'll be able to get away by a few car lengths. Probably frustrated Noggle a little bit there as they bumped fenders and tires coming off of turn 4. For the lead, there's Davis running right down along the bottom. It's so hard to keep your momentum up coming off of 2, running that deep inside lane through 1 and 2. All 4 rotors glowing on the 96 of Spencer Davis. 10 laps remain.
So Abedissian's going to have her work cut out for her if she would like to keep the top spot. That 96 car looking really good to the bottom side of the racetrack, Bob.
Definitely getting interesting for the lead here, and I asked Tony Uri Jr., who's the crew chief for Spencer Davis, what is he saying? And he said he hasn't said a word the entire race. Spencer Davis going for the lead, knows he wants to win here at New Smyrna Speedway to continue that GMS fabrication machine progress forward.
Oh, that run that he had through turns 1 and 2 there was better than any of the previous. He's got a shot to get ahead of Abedissian now at the line this time. It is Spencer Davis, the new leader at lap 52. Down through 1 and 2, clears Abedissian, the crossover move. Can she get back to the inside by turn 3? She peaks low. Davis giving her room. Battle for the number 1 spot continues.
Little slip and slide, dip and dive right there for Jade Abedissian. She is going to give up that top position to Spencer Davis, and exactly what he needed to do, he did. He made that large gap a much smaller gap and eventually found some racing room to the inside of Jade Abedissian, and let's see if he can stretch out that advantage now, coming to 6 to go this time around.
Ralph Miller getting that right hand ready to show him 5 to go next time, and Spencer Davis starting to pull away at the front of the field, leading the World Series standings. For the David Rogers Super Late Models coming into this event, Abedissian's been very strong as well. She's claimed to win this week. For Davis, finishes of 2nd, 3rd, and last night in the Appalachian Sucker Punch ASA Stars National Tour Clyde Hart race, 4th. 5 to go signal shown. Coming around to 4 to go, Spencer Davis, the Dawsonville, Georgia driver, leading the way late in the event. A former Pro Late Model World Series champion. Finished 2nd here at the Governor's Cup 200 just a couple months ago. That'll be 3 to go next time.
Very reminiscent of Abedissian's run a couple of races back, where she stretched out that large advantage, and eventually Dawson Sutton in the waiting lap started to close in. Had that race been a 62-lap feature event rather than a 60-lapper, I think Dawson Sutton may have had something for Jade Abedissian, but as it was, Jade was able to hold him off. Not quite able to keep that 96 car at bay here tonight. Coming to 2 to go for Spencer Davis this time around, and look at that, Adam, stretching that advantage out now, making a 15 car length lead with 2 to go.
Big lead built up for the 27-year-old driver from Dawsonville, Georgia. Came back to short track racing in late models of supers and pros about a year ago, and he's had good success coming to the white.
Ralph Miller waving the white flag. Final time around for Spencer Davis. He's got a 15 car length lead over Jade Abedissian. No one out the front windshield. No pressure at all. Off the back bumper down the backstretch.
Heading to turn 3, the beautiful 96 paced its way in this 60-lap race to take the lead in the late going with 8 to go. Comes to the checkered in the Surf USA Mobile GMS Race Cars 96. Spencer Davis wins tonight at the World Series. Jade Abedissian, Anthony Bello, Max Reeves, and George Phillips round out our top 5. Another good points night, another podium finish for Spencer Davis.
good, clean 60-lap super late model feature event. Spencer Davis taking it to victory lane, and an excellent performance again. Another strong run for Jade Abedizian, and Anthony Bello looking like he is starting to get the hang of these super late models, as there is our winner, Spencer Davis.